What a year 2020 has been. With all the strange things going around in the world, the gaming world has had another strong year. With the release of the new PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, we also have got new GPUs from AMD and Nvidia. And on top of that, we've seen a lot of tremendous games this year. Hey, what's up everyone, it's the 4K Gamer here, and I am proudly presenting to you my top 10 best games of 2020. The list is a selection of games that I have played, so some games that you as viewers prefer may not be on my list. So please do not be offended if your favorite game did not make the list. Also note, there will be no spoilers in this video, just in case some of you haven't played any of these games. Before we get to the list, please don't forget to like this video, leave any comments below, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to get notified when I have uploaded a new video. With all the formalities out the way, let's get started with number 10. Coming in at number 10, we have Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which is a platformer which was released earlier this year on the Xbox and PC, and then later on in September for the Nintendo Switch. The game is a direct sequel to 2015's Ori and the Blind Forest. You play as the White Guardian spirit Ori in this Metroidvania style game, where you must jump, climb, swim between various platforms to solve intricate puzzles. When progressing through the game, you are able to unlock new abilities for Ori, allowing players to unlock previously inaccessible areas of the map. I enjoyed the gameplay for this, and graphically this game looks gorgeous, and the music is also good. I played this game on the Xbox consoles, so you will get the visually enhanced upgrades such as 4K and HDR, and on the new Xbox Series X you can play the game in super smooth 120 FPS. Give this game a try, it's a fun platformer.
Who would have the valor, the purity of heart, to stand against the Arch-Illager's reign of terror? Well, not that one. But maybe you.
Minecraft Dungeons is a hack and slash style dungeon crawler video game developed by Mojang Studios and Double 11 and published by Xbox Game Studios. It is a spin-off to the main sandbox video game Minecraft, and is released on the Xbox, PC, PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch. The game has a very basic story, where the main bad guy is the Arch-Illager, who is out for vengeance on all those who wronged him after he got his hands on a powerful artifact known as the Orb of Dominance. You play as a random hero out to stop the Arch-Illager. This game made my list as it's a fun co-op game, and I do miss the local co-op games. It's a short game, but it's still fun to play, so that's why it's made the list. In 2019, we finally got a remake of one of the best Resident Evil titles, Resident Evil 2. The game was great and added new features, but kept to the original storytelling. Resident Evil 3 is another fun game to play with the same great visuals as Resident Evil 2 and the same style of gameplay, but focuses more on the action rather than true survival horror. You control Jill Valentine from Stars as you attempt to survive the zombie apocalypse outbreak in Raccoon City while being hunted by the intelligent bioweapon, the Nemesis. Unlike the original Resident Evil 3 on PS1, the Nemesis does not appear much in the remake and appears mostly in set sequences. The developers should have used a similar formula that was in Resident Evil 2 remake with Mr. X, where he is always nearby and keeping the players on edge. The game also misses some gameplay elements that were present in the original Resident Evil 3, such as the whole clock tower scene, which I'm not sure why this wasn't added, and certain player choices, such as in the original when encountering the Nemesis, players had a choice to either fight him or hide from him. It is also a short game that took me less than 3 hours to complete, but regardless of all the negatives, the game is still fun to play, and who doesn't have fun blasting zombies away? If you want to see the full walkthrough of Resident Evil 3, click on the link above to see the full walkthrough.
Alright. I'm in.
Now, I've never been interested or a fan of turn-based games as much, but because I'm a huge Gears of War fan, I thought, let me give this one a try, and yeah, I did enjoy this game as it has that Gears of War charm. Gears Tactics was developed by Splash Damage in conjunction with the Coalition and published by Xbox Game Studios, and this game is a spin-off for the Gears of War franchise and it's a prequel to the first Gears of War game. The game takes place 1 year after Emergence Day, where Chairman Prescott has ordered all the major cities outside of Jacinto to be destroyed by the Hammer of Dawn. Prescott also has set up a cleanup in other cities to get rid of the locusts. You control Sergeant Gabriel Diaz, yep, that's Kate Diaz's dad, along with Major Sid Redburn to do the cleanup job and retrieve intel files. Now, not going too deep into the story, the main bad guy is Yukon, who was a human but turned into a locust due to experiments, and he is the creator of some of the big monsters you see in the game, such as the Corpses and the Brumacs. I like this game because it has simple gameplay mechanics. The gameplay is played from a top-down perspective where you command your squad to eliminate the locusts on the map, and each map has its own main objectives along with secondary objectives. You can also freely explore the map without being restricted to a confined grid, and each character can perform certain actions such as taking cover, shooting the locusts, obviously, remaining Overwatch to shoot any moving enemies in the line of sight, and also performing the classic Gears of War executions. With great gameplay, great graphics, and an excellent narrative, this makes it in my top 10 list.
I'll say one thing for Prescott. The man's thorough.
Come on. Let's find a way back.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Now, my singing may not be that great, but this game is. Spider-Man Miles Morales is an action-adventure game developed by Insomniac Games and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. The story continues from where the last game, Marvel Spider-Man DLC The City Never Sleeps, ends, where Miles Morales gets bitten by a genetically enhanced spider and gains similar powers as Peter Parker. Now, a year later, and being trained by Peter himself, Miles is the second Spider-Man in New York City until Peter decides to go away on holiday, which leaves Miles as the only Spider-Man in the city. The gameplay is similar to the previous game, but Miles can unlock new abilities to help him through the game. Game is fun, Graphics are awesome, especially with the new update that lets you play in 60 frames per second with ray tracing enabled. If you have a PS5, you should definitely give this one a try.
Give me one good reason not to end you.
I don't know what happened. I was supposed to take her to the Fireflies and walk away.
One of the most anticipated games of 2020, The Last of Us Part 2 returns and is a direct sequel to the first. A few years have gone after the first game and we see a grown-up Ellie living in a small town with her friends and Joel. Without going into spoilers in case some of you haven't played this yet, the game turns for the worse very quickly during the opening scenes. The Last of Us Part 2 plays similar to the first game, so it includes all elements such as action, stealth and survival horror, so players have limited ammo and items, but they can also craft their own items as well. The game isn't higher on my list, as I feel the first half of the game was awesome and the second half kinda dragged on, especially the ending. Nonetheless, this is still a great game with a decent story, so if you haven't played this, now is the time to play. It's just a shame that this game isn't optimized for the PS5. Making it to the number 4 spot, Ghost of Tsushima. This is an action-adventure game developed by Sucker Punch Productions and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. It's an open-world game where the player follows Gen Sakai, a samurai on a quest to protect Tsushima Island during the first Mongol invasion of Japan. I enjoyed the gameplay and the combat is good, and graphically this game looks awesome. As a bonus, the game seems to be optimized for PS5 as well, so be sure to load this up on the PS5 console and see how the game runs. Or you can click the link above in the top right to see gameplay footage of the game running on a PS5 console. Now some of you may be thinking how this game made it to my top 3 despite having so many bugs and so many glitches, and unfortunately I've seen them myself, but let's take a step back and see what we have here. Cyberpunk has been in development for 2077 years, and it seemed like the developers forgot about the base Xbox One and PS4 versions of the game and concentrated too much for the PC version. So for anyone playing on the PC version, just like I am, the game is pretty awesome. The open world is cool, the combat in this game is decent, the storyline is great, and the game is jam-packed with a lot of things to do. Mind you, the PC version still has its fair shares of bugs and glitches, where I had to restart missions a couple of times, but overall the game is still playable and it's still great. Yes, it's a hyped up game. Yes, for me, some of the talking in the game drags on so much, but there's a lot of positives about this game as well. But unfortunately, not everyone will experience the same as me if you are playing on the base consoles, because the game is so terrible on those consoles. But if you are sticking with the game and waiting for the patches to fix the broken game, you will be pleased with the game itself. So just be patient, wait until the patches come through, and give the game a chance.
Can't risk it, V. Remember our first convo? Seems I've chosen
what the
quiet
fuck?
life after all. No blaze of glory for me.
When you're speaking about next generation gaming, this should be the game that should be mentioned. Microsoft Flight Simulator sees you flying different aircrafts around any location around the world. That's right, you can fly anywhere around the world. Just pick a departure location, wherever you like, and you can begin to fly. If you have a high-end PC, the detail of this game is unbelievable, and seeing the detail in some locations is incredible. You can choose to fly in live time and weather conditions, or you can change this manually. And flying at night is awesome, especially in the newly updated cities. You may even be able to see your own house. You can spend hours and hours on this game just flying around the world, but you can also do challenges that the game has to offer, such as landing the aircraft challenges, which I find extremely difficult to do. The game is not for everyone, and I've never played any flight simulator games before, but this is a game that everyone needs to experience at least once. The game is best played with the correct setup, so you would definitely need the flight stick and the rudders, and of course a powerful enough PC to run this game. This is the new Can It Run Crysis type of game. If you don't have a powerful PC, you can wait for the game to be released later next year in 2021 for the Xbox Series X version. But I appreciate what the developers have done for this game, so this game gets a number 2 spot.
Nearly 60% of our planet has been consumed by the invaders.
We have the Hellpriest signal locked in. The target is marked, but the signal will not hold for long.
For it is he that they fear, not man, or his armies. They fear the mark of the beast.
Grab your shotgun and let's blast our way through the demons. The most badass game of 2020 is Doom Eternal, a fast-paced first-person shooter. The story takes place sometime after the events of Doom 2016, where Earth has been overrun by demonic forces, wiping out 60% of the planet's population. The remaining humans have either left Earth or have joined the Armed Response Coalition, a resistance movement formed to stop the invasion, which has gone into hiding after suffering heavy losses. So now comes the Doomslayer, and basically you're here to save the day. It's a basic story, but the story doesn't really matter in this game, and also not the reason to why this game is so great. The gameplay is excellent, it's fast paced, non-stop as you blast your way through the demon horde, and the weapon selection is also cool. The graphics are brilliant, the soundtrack is fantastic. Overall, I love this game, and if you haven't played it, go play it now, you won't regret it. It's even on the Xbox Game Pass, so there is no excuse not to play this. Doom Eternal is my number 1 pick for this list for the best game of 2020. So there you have it, my top 10 best games of 2020. Did any of the games you guys like make the list? What was your favourite games in 2020? Drop a comment below and let me know what you lot would pick for your top 10 games of 2020. Hope everyone has a great new year, and hopefully 2021 will be a much better year for everyone. I usually post videos on Friday, Saturday or Sunday, so be sure to check out any new content from me on those days. And as usual, don't forget to like this video, share it, comment below and subscribe to this channel for the best 4K quality gaming videos. Till the next one, goodbye.